Today, a musician I met gets really deep with me and shares what it's like to be connected to the music he's performing. And to him, it's not about himself, but about connecting to something bigger. Hi, I'm Matt Hayes, and this is episode number 37 of Meet a Stranger. It was such a lovely sunny afternoon in Old San Juan when I heard stranger number 37. He was busking in the middle of the square and really having a blast. This guy was good. And when he finished, I said hello, and we ended up having a little chat over coffee. I wanted to know what music meant to a guy who makes it. Take a listen. How long have you been a musician for?
Oh, since I was 3 years old, man. You know, my father gave me this little piano. It was like an AM and FM radio. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it was a little piano this big, like probably 7 inches long. And I remember I grew up watching Sesame Street. And the puppets were playing Yellow Submarine. Mm-hmm. And that song got stuck in my mind. So when I went to bed to sleep, I had my little piano close to my bed, and the first song that I learned, it was Yellow Submarine on my own. And then my father brought me a keyboard Yamaha when I was 12, and I started up to play boogie woogie, that stuff on my own. And then when I was 14, I was performing my first show with a band. And I was playing old rock and roll tunes like Jailhouse Rock, La Bamba, Tutti Frutti, Elvis Presley tunes, because Elvis Presley is my main influence as a singer. The Beatles became an influence to put a band together. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a few bands, but I became famous when I was in my 27, and we put a band together that it was a fusion band. It was a fusion of the grunge of the 90s and Dave Matthews Band. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Paco de Lucia Flamenco, Buddy Guy, B.B. King Blues, all that stuff, and it was like that. Like Buddy Guy used to say, a gamba. We recorded 3 albums. We made it in Puerto Rico. We used to play for 8,000 people, 3,000 people in Mexico. Mm-hmm. It was amazing, pretty amazing, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about your passion for music. We were talking before about how, creativity and energy and how it's something bigger than just what we hear. Tell me a little bit about that. What does that feel like for you when you're playing or recording or writing and you're just in that moment and you're that moment, that element?
Well, when I'm playing, I feel perfect, man. I feel like I'm in balance, No, I never had stage fright in my life. Never. I sang in front of people for the first time when I was 13, 12, 14, 13, something like that. I was like, I was made for this. I was like, this is my comfort zone. I can tell you this, I felt like a god. I feel like a god, Mm-hmm. And when I'm playing, I don't feel like I'm separated from people, I feel like we are in a oneness, because sometimes I got my eyes closed, but when I open my eyes, I see people that they are into it too, mm-hmm. When I go to the street to do the busking, it's like playing for 8,000 people literally, or 80,000 people. It's like a huge concert. I play first because I feel like I can heal myself, or I can, I'm immortal or infinite. It's something that I cannot explain by words, because it's so out of this world, out of this dimension, Mm-hmm. But I feel like I'm connected to a source above us, or probably I feel that I am that source at the same time, Mm-hmm. It's like a higher self.
Yeah.
You're like it's like this, like the infinite symbol. Mm-hmm. Something that doesn't have a beginning and it doesn't have an end.
So do you feel like then, like you're creating this energy, you're creating this beauty? It's almost like you're a vessel of that to somebody, yeah. And when they're in the audience and they're around you, you're kind of passing it on to them.
Yeah. It feels like that, It's pure magic, man. That's what I call magic. It's pure magic. It's very beautiful. Sometimes I sing one of my tunes, a sad tune, and I see people crying, or I see people very, very excited about the songs, Mm-hmm. But I play my heart out, That's what I do. I play like and I learned this from Jim Morrison, that his girlfriend asked him once, why do you work so hard even if there is just three people in the audience, and he told her, you never know where you're gonna be your last performance. It's not about make art, it's about become the art.
Yes. Music can be so defining for people in different moments of their life. Like they might go through a breakup and a certain song is related to that, or a certain moment in life, and they'll hear that song years later and be connected to that, and it brings up those emotions and all. Is there moments like that in your life, even though you're the creator of music, where there are songs that whether you've created or that have just been moments in your life where you have those type of moments and that type of relationship with music as well?
Well, the thing is that I can play a song that I wrote 20 years ago, but I don't think about the past or the moment that I wrote the song. The thing is that song sounds different in that precise moment 20 years later, you know? And it's like something new at the same time for me, you know? It can be like a contradiction, but at the same time, it makes perfect sense, you know? For example, I was listening to, not about my music, let's talk about Journey, for example. The album Escape is one of my favorites. And I remember I used to listen to that album in my living room when I was a kid. If I listen to that album today, it doesn't remind me when I was in my room listening to that album. Actually, it's like I can see things in a different way, you know? Some people react like, oh, that song, man, it makes me cry, or I remember when my father died, or I remember when I got married, you know? It's like I have performed for proposals, and there is these people that I play some song, they cry, and it was like, I will never forget you, you know? I'm going to remember you endlessly because of this, you know?
Yeah.
And probably for them it's like that, but for me it's like, it's very, I don't know if I can say it's weird, but...
Do you live your life like that, where you don't live in that past, where you take everything and say, oh, this reminds me of this or that, and it sounds like you're just really truly able to stay present, not just in music, but with everything in life. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I have learned to live in the present, man. When you're in the present, there is no past, there is no future, and there is no death. You know, there is no death, man. It's infinite.
It truly does sound like an out-of-body experience, doesn't it? Being connected to something bigger, being connected to something that you're just kind of like a vessel, and all of this energy, all of this creativity is just funneled through you for the absolute benefit of all the people that are watching and listening. Do you have moments in your life when you feel like that? When you're connected to something even bigger? It's almost as if something inside of you, an inner voice, an inner feeling, an inner being just takes over and you're just the vessel for whatever it is that's coming out. I'd love to know when you experience that. Let me know. You can reach out on all those evil social media channels. Instagram is the best though, at Go Meet a Stranger or at Matt Hayes. Thanks to stranger number 37. Can't wait to hear you out on the square again. And thank you, dear listener, for taking a minute to meet a stranger today. Until next time, I'm Matt Hayes. Onward.